Throughout Roblox's history, there are hundreds to thousands of Roblox genres, and there is one in particular that's simply the GOAT. But no, it's not brain rot or any simulator, it's the prison genre, where goated games like Jailbreak, Prison Life, and Mad City exist. It's kind of sad seeing how the whole Roblox prison genre has slowly faded away. There was a time when it completely ruled the front page, when games like Prison Life, Jailbreak, and later Mad City basically were Roblox. Back then, every kid who booted up Roblox either wanted to escape prison or chase someone who did. The whole genre felt like its own little world, a perfect mix of fun, freedom, and creativity. But now, in 2025, it's honestly 1% of what it used to be. Those prison games that once defined Roblox are now sitting in the back corner of the platform, barely holding on, while new, flashier genres like brain rot and battleground-style games have completely taken over. It's like watching your childhood heroes retire one by one. First, let's go all the way back to where it started, Prison Life. That game was the foundation. It was simple, clunky, and kind of broken, but that's exactly what made it fun. You'd spawn in as either an inmate or a guard, and the drama would start going crazy. People would riot in the cafeteria, others would figure out every single exploit to glitch out of the map, and there'd always be that one guy camping with a shotgun outside the prison gate. It wasn't polished at all, but it didn't need to be. Prison Life had that early Roblox charm. It felt raw, like an open playground with no rules. You didn't need flashy graphics or constant updates, just the fun of escaping the prison and running wild in a world that felt so alive for its time. But of course, like all things, it died. Prison Life started losing players due to two major reasons. One being the script was extremely outdated, meaning people could literally hack the game easily. Every server you join, you'll notice a bunch of hackers ruining the vibe for you. In other words, it was low-key impossible to even enjoy the game.
What was once the most visited Roblox game of all time is now one of the least safe places you could go on the platform. How did it go from being the most visited game of all time in 2017 to literally every single server? There's still a decent amount of players, but every single server is just hackers. Like this used to be the biggest game on Roblox. I feel like I watched my hometown crash and burn.
Another reason was just repetitiveness and how other games were just better in the same genre. People got bored of Prison Life since there was absolutely zero update, and even when they did, it was just some patch notes. Nothing new came out of the game, so eventually, slowly by slowly, the game declined at a rapid rate. But one day, out of the blue, something better had come along to replace Prison Life. That something was Jailbreak. When Jailbreak dropped in 2017, it was like Roblox suddenly leveled up. It took the basic prison idea from Prison Life but expanded it into an entire open world. You could rob banks, customize cars, fly helicopters, and for the first time, it felt like you were in an actual GTA-style experience built inside Roblox. Jailbreak didn't just dominate, it redefined what a Roblox game could be. Everyone wanted to play it, everyone talked about it, and every update felt like a huge event. And the devs, Asimo3089 and Bad CC, man, they were working like machines back then. You'd see new updates every few weeks, constant teasers, live events that would literally crash Roblox servers. The game felt alive. Every day, players were discovering new things, grinding for new cars, or role-playing as cops and criminals. Jailbreak even had its own economy, trading, limited vehicles, collectibles. It was insane how deep it got. For a while, it wasn't just a game, it was a lifestyle. But then, 2019 hit, and that's when Mad City came into the picture. This was when things got really interesting. Mad City dropped like a bomb. It felt like Jailbreak, but supercharged. Bigger map, more robberies, more vehicles, more customization. It was basically Jailbreak on steroids. The city felt alive, and the roleplay aspect was way more fleshed out. You had heroes, villains, and this colorful, flashy vibe that made Jailbreak's muted tones feel a bit dull in comparison. The second Mad City launched, people started calling it the Jailbreak Killer. And for a while, that title didn't feel far-fetched at all. The rivalry between the two was insane. Jailbreak and Mad City were going head-to-head like two heavyweight champions. Every update one game dropped, the other would respond with something bigger. Jailbreak would add a new robbery, Mad City would release 3. Mad City would add vehicles with jet engines, Jailbreak would bring in planes. They were constantly pushing each other, and that competition is honestly what made both games thrive. It's wild to think that these two dev teams were indirectly motivating each other to outdo themselves week after week. You could feel that fire, but as time went on, things started to shift. That spark began fading. Mad City hit a major setback when it lost one of its main developers, and everything started slowing down. The updates became less frequent, and eventually the game just kind of stopped. For almost a year and a half, Mad City went completely silent. Fans waited, hoping for a comeback, and eventually it did return with Mad City Chapter 2. But that comeback didn't go as planned. Chapter 2 looked amazing on the surface. New graphics, redesigned mechanics, a whole new world. But the problem was that it didn't feel like the old Mad City anymore. Everything that made the original special was gone. It was too different, too polished, too disconnected from the nostalgia we all love. Players logged in expecting to relive the old days, but instead they got a totally new game that didn't hit the same way. Nostalgia is powerful, and once you mess with that, it's hard to win people back. So fans left. And when they left, they didn't come back. And it wasn't just the players who left. Content creators started talking about its downfall alongside the reason behind it as well.
What led to the downfall of Mad City? Reaching the front page on January 28, 2019, Jailbreak had a fierce competitor. With a larger map, more vehicles, a hero team, a huge arsenal of weapons, and even a phone menu, at the time, it was undeniably superior to Jailbreak. However, over time, Mad City began borrowing ideas from Jailbreak, like similar features and even similar live events. Updates slowed, lag and bugs increased, and the game became overly complex and repetitive. The developers offered basically zero communication either, creating frustration among players. Chapter 2 was then delayed for 2 years due to the game needing a full recode. After a poor reception and a sharp drop in daily players, development was paused on June 6, 2024, with zero updates planned for the future.
Meanwhile, Jailbreak stayed consistent. It kept its core gameplay and slowly evolved without ever completely changing its identity. Sure, it added new cities, revamped graphics, and fancy live events, but it always felt like Jailbreak. The map grew, the vehicles expanded, the game got bigger, but the vibe stayed the same. That's what kept players around for so long. But eventually, even Jailbreak started to show cracks. After years of constant updates, the devs ran out of things to add. How many more robberies can you really make before it starts to feel repetitive? They added everything they once said they'd never add. Planes, tanks, jets, all because Mad City forced them to compete. But once that competition faded, the drive started fading too. At one point, Jailbreak even announced they'd stop doing monthly updates. That's when it really hit that this era was ending. Mad City had already stopped updating for months, and now Jailbreak was finally slowing down too. It's like both rivals fought each other so hard that they ended up burning out together. The update wars that once kept the genre alive were officially over, and you can feel the silence now. When you scroll through Roblox's front page, those big flashy icons that once represented Jailbreak and Mad City are now buried beneath new trends. Brainrot games, silly simulator clones, anime battlegrounds, and chaotic social games that don't even try to capture the depth those older titles had. What's crazy is how the entire Roblox audience changed too. The new generation doesn't care about robbing banks or escaping prison. They're more into short, dopamine-filled games. Quick fun, fast rewards, flashy thumbnails. Stuff like steal a brainrot or grow a garden totally flip what Roblox players look for now. And in that environment, games like Jailbreak or Mad City just don't fit in anymore. Half the dev team left and the player base was just gone. The idea of doing a chapter 3 feels like beating a dead horse. No one wants another reboot. They just want the old Mad City back. But you can't go back in time. Jailbreak's devs, on the other hand, played it smarter. They didn't reboot everything, they just evolved slowly. And honestly, that's why Jailbreak stayed alive longer. But even then, you can't fight time forever. After years of grinding out updates, even the Jailbreak team started slowing down. And honestly, I get it. Both teams gave Roblox everything they had. For years, they pushed out massive content, events, vehicles, heists, all without milking their community or forcing paywalls like so many other devs did. They actually cared. They built worlds that meant something. It's just that times changed. Players moved on, and the genre that once ruled the platform just couldn't keep up with the new trends. And just like that, everyone thought it's definitely the end of an era, or so they thought. The plot twist of a generation had arrived. When we speak about the prison genre, everyone would hope to see Mad City or Jailbreak to make a crazy comeback. But little did anyone expect this.
Roblox players, have you seen this? Prison Life was launched over 10 years ago, and over time it went from one of the biggest games to being fully dead, getting less than 1,000 players. But out of nowhere, the developer returned and started updating it again, and the game's getting popular again, getting almost 15,000 players. Even Jailbreak is getting popular again. OG Roblox is slowly making a comeback.
Here's this Prison Life at 3,000. Go want to play some Prison Life? Wait a minute. It just got updated. No way. It was updated today. Look. Look. Updated 2 hours ago. It was updated.
The game that everyone abandoned had surprised everyone with a once-in-a-lifetime update. Not gonna lie, I don't think anyone even had expectations from this game anymore. Sure, it was the OG game, but playing this wouldn't be the same anymore. But I was proven wrong, because when they updated the game, it jumped from barely 1,000 players online to over 40,000, and the graphs could easily go up. The crazy thing about this is their update wasn't even fancy or anything like that. It was just another patch notes with some slight designs to the maps and the prison. But since people have once attached themselves to the nostalgia vibes of Roblox itself, they all came back and supported this game to the moon. The developer was said to be focusing on other aspects of his life when they didn't update for too long, and now that he's back, it's really possible for prison life to skyrocket into the moon. The updates I can envision will bring that last spark to the platform, and by any means, I really do feel happy about this situation. Not just that, when prison life boosted in popularity, so did Jailbreak, because they're in the same genre and both were considered golden games of the generation. But Mad City? Not really, since it's already separated from their old formats. The current game is too polished, as I mentioned previously, so yeah, everything just feels so unreal at this point. And let me know down in the comments below if you guys would want OG Roblox to return. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.